Hello, welcome to the TIM experience. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, hi Satyam. Thanks so much for the invite. So glad to be here. And let's go.
I would let you introduce yourself to our audience. Can you talk about you, your academic journey, and your professional journey so far?
So, hi everyone. My name is Joshua Ray Sundaraja. So, tell you about myself. I have done a bachelor's in EEE, that is Electrical and Electronics Engineering, and I passed out in the year 2018. So, when it comes to my professional experience, I have almost 5 years, like 4.6 years of experience, and I've been lucky to not only work in the EdTech field, but also in the automobile field, and right now in the health field.
So your journey has been throughout different fields of the industry. Is there any particular field that you like working for, or these are all different experiences you are trying your hands at?
So the automobile experience was purely out of passion. But I was lucky because during my stint with that automobile company, I had the opportunity to be a product manager. And once I got into product management, once I understood all the nuances and how it works, that really motivated me to expand my horizons in that vertical rather than stick to a particular domain. So that's what led me to expand my horizons into the health tech industry rather as a product manager where I currently am. When you grow up and you go through many experiences, you do feel that one area or one domain would be like the area where I'm going to work in this area throughout my life. But once you do make that jump and once you do work in the domain, that's what triggers you and that's what gives you that, okay, fine, maybe I need to focus in this particular niche. And that's exactly what happened to me. And that's why I chose product management rather than a particular domain to be my career choice going forward.
That is nice. How did you circle down first, let's say, mobility, vehicles, then healthcare, and then how did you arrive at product management? What were the circumstances that led to your decision of being a product manager?
I can say I'm lucky in certain ways because I actually worked in my previous organization twice, in the sense that my first experience was as a GAT, graduate apprentice trainee. After the first 3 to 4 months, I was working on a particular product, basically a connectivity product, and that's where my journey into product management began without me knowing it. Now, unfortunately, due to COVID, there was a bit of a break in my career, but when the opportunities arose and when things opened up, I joined back in the same company as a control of the product, which I basically helped to develop. So that's how I actually started my journey in product management, when I decided, okay, fine, I need to find something that keeps the passion going, keeps energy burning, something new which I need to find and chase. So that's what led me to my latest job in tech industry, where I feel we have a lot of horizon, a lot of scope for development because it's really a very vast area and has a lot of scope for improvement.
Thank you for that answer. So just like you did it for yourself, how can youngsters today find their niche and find their passion?
So this is a very interesting question, Satyam, and I think a lot of youngsters think that their work starts only after they complete or graduate college. But the truth is actually it starts before that, because in your third and in your fourth years when you're getting into internships, and I feel internships are the real first industry experience you get even before you graduate. And the most important thing is to find what is your passion, what drives you as soon as possible. When I was in my college days, that probably I think around 6-7 years back, an internship was just considered a thing to check off a box in a list, in a checklist before you graduate. But I feel that's not how things are right now. Things are really improving, and internships are really very important to not only identify where you want to work or what are the fields available which excite you and which drive you or give you that passion. And the second and most important thing is contact, because when you are in your internship, it's basically your first industry experience. You gain a lot of contact in that phase, and these contacts will definitely help you as you progress in your journey. And it need not be something which is paid, that's something which we can look at later. Try to do an internship with a startup, because not only will you be stretched to your maximum limits, but you also can understand and visualize your true potential, because you just have a lot of things to do. Whereas if you do an internship with, let's say, a bigger company that has like a set process, set rules, set departments, of course, that's also good in one way, but I would recommend starting your internship journey with a startup, because it exposes you to more and gives you a broader understanding of the industry before you can jump in professionally.
On the lines of internship, when is the right time to start applying for internships? And when students apply for internship, what are the parameters? Like you said, paid or not paid can be looked after. But what are the other parameters which students should have in mind before applying or selecting an internship?
If you're in an area where you can get access to really good companies that offer really very good internships, then yes, I would recommend you take that option. But it depends. In certain scenarios, you may not have the opportunity to select a company and go for an internship. You can have an option where only a few companies offer internship, because at the end of the day, from the company's perspective, if they are calling a person who has basically a graduate, it's a risk for them, because for that amount, if it's a paid intern, they can hire a person to do their job properly rather than putting their bet on an intern who may or may not do their job. So I feel when it comes to internships, you need to look at what excites you and what do you want to do. And when it comes to right time, there is really no best time than immediately. I would say right after your second year or whenever your college allows you to take into internships, it's best to get not one but possible two internships under your belt, because after you graduate, that would be the easiest entry into your first job. Or if that doesn't work out, at least those experiences will help you what to avoid in your first job.
Going back to your first job, so when you started on your first job, what were the differences that you felt you had experienced in terms of what you studied in college and what you were expected to do on the first day of your job?
One of the stark differences which you notice when you transition from a graduate into, let's say, a fresher at work, college gives you a lot of academic inputs, like you learn a lot of stuff based on your core domain, but it never teaches you what you expect or what you should do in the real world. When it comes to a job, you are expected to do a particular task to get a particular outcome out of your job. In college, the only outcome is marks. That's all what they expect. And that's unfortunately how people still expect it right now. And yes, academics are important, but I feel college is a good time to not only build on academic portfolio, but also your other skill sets, communication skills, the amount of technology that you use, like AI and ML is coming in, how you're able to use these tools to help you in your career, help you in your work. All these things may sound small right now, but they all build and add up to really help you in your career. So to answer the question, it's a stark difference in what you would expect from college and when you graduate, because you'll be reporting to someone, you have tasks to do, you have to work in a team, and these all require you to really put in the best effort to get recognized and to get noticed, especially in your first job. Summarize that you need to upskill yourself at every time, not only rely on your academic skills, because you can really be a topper when it comes to your academic, but in the real world, you could have differences or find a difficulty adapting to your current role or to any role that you're given.
Thank you for giving that detailed answer. We have taken questions from students who are really interested in product management. And one of that question is best places to get into for product management right after graduation. What specific skills and qualities students should hone so that they ensure they are well prepared for the interview and for the job?
If you're going to be looking for a career choice in product management, the first and foremost thing is your passion. They check how passionate you are. Now, as a fresher, you do not know what exactly product management entails. You only get some industry experience that you get the nuances and how product management works. And the most important thing which they would look for is your passion. The second thing is your curiosity. Now, if you take any product, taking this call in an online session, this was developed because somebody felt a need that there was a requirement for this platform to be developed for this purpose. So the fact that you have an integrated mic, you have the camera working, in my screen, of course, I can see how long it's been recording, who knows there in chat, all those things. So these are all requirements that somebody brought. Somebody understood those requirements and developed the product. So the point of understanding what is required or to solve a problem, that's exactly where product management comes in. So after you have your passion, your curiosity, then I would like to say the remaining three skills are your leadership, tactical and strategic skills. Now these skills are something which are developed, of course, in your career once you have a few jobs or a few years of work experience under your belt. As a fresher from college, what they would look for is your leadership skills in how excited are you to take up new initiatives. Did you lead anything in your college days? Or did you manage some of your friends' groups to get some activity done? And how did you plan that activity? What was the strategic and tactical skills that you employed to plan a particular activity or what you worked in during your internship? So these 5 skills are something which they would question if you're going to look for a dairy product.
What are the best places to apply for a PM role for an Indian undergrad student?
I would recommend that you work for a product-based company because A, you have a product which is already there in the market. So when you go for a product-based company, the kind of exposure you get, the kind of experiences you will have will really broaden your horizon. Let's say a mic, but the actual development, the thought process that went in behind developing that mic, the decibels levels which was allowed, which is supposed to accept and deny, all these things. So there are a lot of nuances which go into how a product is developed. I would say look at product-based companies, and I would say start small. Don't immediately aim for the top companies because nobody's going to let a fresher design the next Mercedes-Benz, for example. So look at startups, look at companies which are starting with their legs off the ground and about to fly. These companies would really appreciate young talent, a different mindset, and at the same time, they'll appreciate your view fresh out of colleges.
What are the typical standard processes that are followed in a product management interview? What's the process?
So far, I've obviously attended a few interviews in my life. And the thing I found out is, like I mentioned, they would first look at your passion. For example, if you're going to take the health tech industry, they don't necessarily want you to have worked in health tech before. So that's not a barrier. What they check is your skill set, what you have done and accomplished in your previous company, or in this case, what have you done and accomplished in college, be it your internship, have you worked on a particular project, what was your final year project, was it something which was generic, was it something that transformed people's life, what was the idea and what was the thought process behind your final year project. These are certain things which would interest them and give them an insight into what your thought process is, what your mindset is, and if you are suitable for the job. Second thing is, of course, to look at the job description from a company perspective. If they are putting out a job description, what do they expect from you? What are the kind of roles and responsibilities which they would expect you to take? Once you have these things in mind, then you need to either upskill yourself if you feel you don't meet that requirement, or you need to find ways to incorporate their requirements somewhere into your skill set, either by online courses or by doing another internship if required. Because to my understanding, there's no limit on the number of internships a student can take. So I would recommend to take as many as possible to help you to identify your passion, your area of expertise. And once you do that, it will also give you a little bit of an experience in the industry to help you narrow down on what are your options or what career path which you actually have to choose.
Thank you for that. So what are some of the suggestions and tips you would share for the product management interview preparation, study techniques? What are the core competencies students should focus on in terms of studying?
I would recommend students to first look at what product management is, what are the skills which are required for that role, and of course, as a fresher, what are your views on product management? See, when you talk about product management, it's a very vast space. There are multiple frameworks on how it works, on what people have told, on how you're supposed to build a particular product, what are steps to follow. Of course, as a fresher, you are not expected to know these skills or steps as such. But if you want to build a career in, then you are expected to know at least something about it. So of course, do the research. A lot of YouTube videos, there are a lot of great product managers, there are a lot of books on product management. So go through these books, go through these videos, note points, identify areas which you feel aligned with your intern passion. And I think if you identify that you really want to be in product management, then of course you already feel that you have the skills to do it. Then is when you can start applying to companies, and in your resume you need to show places where you have actually employed these skills, because it's easy to type something in the resume, but experience or actions speak more than words.
As you said, it is not available to first years and freshers that the kind of work the product managers do. Could you please answer what exactly do product managers do? How is the work-life balance? What are the challenges and the high life in the field of product management?
It's more of an outdoorsy person. It may not be a person sitting inside. So a product manager's main task is to identify the key users for the product and then develop the product around that to meet their needs. In simple words, that's basically what product management is. It's understanding your user, understanding what they want, understanding the problems they have. And you mentioned some of the challenges and some of the things faced by product managers. So yeah, it depends on the industry you're looking at. In some cases, you have users who know exactly what they want from a particular product. In those cases, it's pretty easy to understand their requirements and then build a product for them. You really need to understand who your customer is, empathize with them, find out what are their pain points, understand what problems they have, and then build a solution to those problems encompassing all their needs. Because you can have a really great product. It really depends on identifying the problem, identifying the use case first, properly, thoroughly identifying and empathizing with your customer, and then building the solution from.
There's a lot of news regarding AI coming in workforce. What are your opinions on generative AI? And how do you see Gen AI impacting the role of product managers in the future?
And many people say that AI is going to take so many jobs, AI is taking over the world, all these things. And in some cases, that is true. If you look at some of the basic work like manual testing, which is now being done by AI, certain roles which a lot of thinking are, yes, taken over by AI. But as freshers from college, you're of course equipped with these skill sets from college. You don't have to worry about losing your job to AI. How I look at it is basically a very important tool which in any fresher, need not be only for product management, but any fresher from college should be prepared or should upskill themselves to use AI for their benefit. So in product management, it helps you to analyze data better. It helps you to understand your customer better without actually having to go and meet them. You can go to AI, type your question in, it gives you an answer based on so many millions of information it has. So AI is basically a tool which helps you do your job better. So that would be my thought process. So don't worry, AI is not taking over jobs. AI is in fact helping you to get better at your job.
So before we sign off for today, what is one actionable career advice you would give to students and young professionals right now?
So I would say start now. Don't postpone things. Don't procrastinate. Don't think that, okay, fine, I'll look at it later. I'll do this particular task later. Of course, when you have a lot of things going on, when you do your final exams, then yes, you have all the time in the world. You can take a small long break. But when it comes to your career, finding your next job or upskilling yourself, don't wait, because technology is evolving at a very fast pace. What's important today may not be important a year later. So it's really important to upskill yourself as much as possible right now and keep upskilling yourself. Never think that, okay, fine, I've done 50 courses on a particular topic. Now I'm the champion in this. That doesn't work in this day and age. You really need to keep upskilling yourself, keep developing your skills, and that's what's really going to help you in the long run.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for that answer. It was a great experience interacting with you. Thank you for joining us and taking time out.
Thanks, Satyam. It was really nice talking to you, and thanks so much for the opportunity.